Hello, everybody. Welcome to DG360. We got ourselves a little morning show where you guys are picking the content that we watch together. We hope you like it. Definitely push the like and the subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and get here live with all the amazing people that are with us. Now, this comes from a content creator named 10pound42. He's asking the question, will Star Citizen's fleet battles ever perform well? I really respect this dude. He's always helping out citizens on their setups. Really cool guy. Let's see what he has to say.
Welcome to what might be the world's first performance react video. I obviously was trying to get in the Idris event, like probably all of you guys were, and I failed miserably. I was on one server where the event was going on, but the Idris was blown up before I could get anywhere near it. So I had no luck testing out performance with the Idris. That was my aim. My aim was to just get some numbers, see how fleet battles are going, because as we'll see, they're not ideal. Now, a big thank you to Salty Mike, who basically said the other day, anybody can use his footage, which was very kind of him. So we're going to basically react to the performance of his video. Now, he had display info.
I mean, well, Salty reacts to everything, so I mean, like, why wouldn't it be
up in the corner? We'll be able to see a few things about the main thread and the render thread and how they interact with each other, because at points, the main thread seems to be the big problem, and at other points, the render thread still seems to be an issue, even after the Gen 12 renderer. So let's have a look at this footage. First of all, here we are. He is quantum traveling to the Idris. Now, loads of frames here, no issue whatsoever, 100 FPS. He has a 5800 X3D, I believe, and a 3090, so plenty of horsepower on the GPU for quantum travel. And as you'll see, things don't stay anywhere near this frame rate. Now we see they've got a lot closer to the Idris. They're 25 kilometers out, and frame rate's still looking good, but that is going to drop as we get closer. Now, the main things to keep an eye on here are the render thread, that second line there that I've highlighted. You see the RT, and then you see the numbers. You can see already we're dropping right down. Performance has tanked, but the render thread itself is still doing really well. We're still only 6 milliseconds for the render thread. So this is the main thread. The main thread, the thread in the engine that's working out all the game logic, all the state stuff, all
what is he rocking?
Stuff with the weapons.
What does Salty Mike have for a card, though? Did he say that? Did I miss that?
The calculations, all that sort of stuff on your PC is under real pressure here. Now, there's people firing at the Idris, there's all sorts of things going on. And
3090?
This typically is what we've seen in big fleet battles. Xena Threat was probably our first example of big fleet battles, and we saw poor performance. Whenever I played Xena Threat in the past, it was terrible. And we're seeing basically the same thing here. But what you'll see, and what is quite interesting, is that in the moments where we get closer to the Idris, we then switch to it being the render thread. Now, unfortunately, the Idris now, at some stage in the moment, is just going to disappear. This mission, for some reason, didn't work. It pops or it dies, the contract's withdrawn, and the frame rate shoots right up into the 40s. Now, again, the render thread has actually still got high at 10 milliseconds, but the main thread, it seems, has had a bit of a relief. And maybe that's because people have stopped firing, maybe because the Idris itself is quite heavy on performance, but now the kind of carcass, shall we say, or the wreck of the Idris has re-popped in. They go in and have a look. And again, as you get closer to all these ships on the screen, the render thread has gone a bit haywire. We're plus 20 FPS. It's not looking great. As Mike gets out of his seat, turn off the MFDs, we get a performance boost. That was always the case. He's now not having to render anything that's going on there. The render thread is under a bit of relief itself, but as he comes out of the ship and turns towards everything, the render thread shoots right up. So that was attempt one. He did the luck the man has, but he managed to get another Idris on, I think, the same server, but another server that he was on. And so you see here again, the frame rate is going down and down, and this Idris is disabled, but there's still hostiles on board. But again, the render thread is, as you get closer to all these ships, going up and up and up. And the hope was that the Gen 12 renderer itself would basically remove the render thread as being the main bottleneck in the game. And it definitely did improve things, and I've tested that in the past. But it seems as though when you get all this action on screen, all these ships to render, it seems to be the ships, the render thread still really struggles.
They still have again so much more work. By the way, there's still so much more work to be done in this particular department. There is so much more work that needs to be done here. It's a little bit discouraging to see something like this, but it's not something we're unaccustomed to as Star Citizen gamers, fans, players.
And again, the render thread really seems to be under pressure, and we might hope that Vulkan itself, when it comes, will help with this. But
I think so.
Who knows? We're at 30 milliseconds for the render thread here, so it's not ideal whatsoever. Again, gets out of the seat. Performance shoots right up because you're not having to worry about all the stuff out there. And for some reason,
you have that new 10,090 Starlet that you need. Hey, listen, Starlet's going to go into the future and get us a 10,090 card.
It's good start. Season glitches out the ship. Nice. And then this is the fun stuff where they actually board the Idris. Now, I'd suggest go and actually watch Mike's
Good morning, Krakus. How are you doing, my friend?
It's all up.
Good to see you here.
I didn't want to put the sound of this. The actual
new 11D12.
Really
yes,
we'll cut to the performance stuff. But you see, performance with sub 20 here. Render thread is 25, 20, 30 milliseconds again. I guess these ships that are destroyed in here still quite heavy on performance. It's really not ideal, and yeah, the real hope for the future of Star Citizen is these big fleet missions. I think people want to see.
You think? Come on, 10#42. It is. I mean, that's a huge feature that we all need. Fleet battles was one of the primary reasons why I was like, wow, man, unlimited large ships with an unlimited amount of people all fighting at the same time. It's everything I ever wanted out of EVE Online, but like in first person perspective, man. Like in your ship flying around in a giant epic fleet battle, man. That's exactly one of the hooks for me. When I first got into this, I was like, yes, please.
See these big battles, but performance is going to have to get a lot better. Now, as he leaves the hangar, we're going to see some interesting things. Again, as he turns away, the render thread comes much more under control.
Yeah, right. Of course,
even the FPS is better. But as you go up to this bit, again, on the windows there, you can see the ships inside the hangar, and the render thread, again, really.
By the way, super exciting that the Idris is releasing. Congratulations to all you that have the Idris, man. Like, I'm so jelly. I should have got this for my award. Like, it looks really good, really clean. He talked about it last night on the Inside Star Citizen review, and I have to say, man, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Like, all the boarding action, the engine room, just the entirety, the layout of it. The design team did such a good job with this, and that hangar area is just fascinating. Like, I love it. Total gives me BSG vibes. Like, the Idris gives me BSG vibes like no other, man.
He falls down in performance. Again, look up the stairs. Render thread is down to 5 milliseconds. Turns back. We're in trouble again. So you can see really the cause and effect here. It does seem to be the ships. Here is their bridge attack. Again, go and watch the actual video he puts out for the comms because it's quite fun.
I think that would be cool, Erad. I agree with you, dude.
The render thread is still not doing particularly great here, and that might be because behind this door you can actually see all the stuff outside the bridge. So performance is 26 FPS, not great for a firefight. They do manage to do some killing, but again, as you go look out this big window at the front of the cockpit at the bridge.
The bridge is awesome.
We're down.
Yeah, the bridge, just like jaw dropping, man. It is awe inspiring. I love the whole feel of it. The bridge is my favorite.
To 17 FPS, it's impressive they managed to kill anybody. Once the action has kind of died down, and once
it's gonna be a long time, Caveman. What's up, Caveman? Welcome back, dude.
Of the overships,
good to have you here.
Transfer across. They've now QT'd out away from everybody else. Performance actually settled down pretty nicely, and as he does a bit of a look around the ship, you'll see some pretty impressive performance at points where we're still hitting 60 FPS. So it's not that. The Idris itself, the model,
let's go.
On its own. The interior and everything is completely broken from a performance point of view. But it seems to be much more that multiple ships on screen, like I've been saying, really kill the render thread, and just the craziness of a battle, the shooting going on, all the, I guess, the physics, everything's being calculated on the main thread. In a big battle, just really doesn't work. And obviously this isn't the fastest CPU out there. A 7800 X3D or a 14900K overclocked to infinity could well perform better, but still I don't imagine they're going to be great. And ideally I would have tested it myself, but here we go. So will Squadron 42 suffer from these same issues? Because ultimately it's still the same game engine, and still when you pop a load of ships on screen, nice complete massive frame drop here, but it does seem to recover. There you go, back up. Yes, Squadron 42 will still have multiple ships on screen, and you still have lots of ships shooting at each other. Will it suffer from the same performance issues? Some of the footage we saw from the Squadron showgirl thing was pretty choppy. So I think we've really got to hope that the main thread side of things, CIG are going to optimize for Squadron.
Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with the rendering of the card. I think, like Caveman saying, I think it's more related to network server side calculations and procedures. It's running in the background with all the object containers. Totally agree with you, Caveman. So yeah, no, this is not just rendering related to your card. This is more, I think, on the server side of things. So we'll see. You know, in time, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. It really is.
And hopefully we'll actually see a benefit from optimizing Squadron, trying to get that to perform. I imagine they're going to shoot for at least 60 FPS everywhere, surely. They have to. And I know that's actually, 60 FPS is pretty disappointing for PC games, but they've got a long way to go, as we're seeing. We're going from sub 20 at points in these big battles. Can they get the whole thing up to 60? That's a big chunk of performance that they'll have to find from somewhere. We're kind of looking for something.
Yeah, I can't wait for that either, Futz. You know, a lot of people get on people that theorycraft videos, but I'm totally down for that. I totally in favor of the theory crafting. I think things still need to be created and game mechanics flushed out and new game mechanics introduced, because this game will always be worked on. Futz says, I can't wait for working escape pods that you can jump in and fire out into space, automatically rocket propel to the nearest planet or moon and land there with the help of thrusters and or parachute. Yes, it's theory crafting, but God damn it, I hope it happens like this. Don't worry about it, man. This channel was built on theorycraft back in the day. We were responsible for a lot of the things in the game that some people are upset about, like the survival mechanics. It's very basic right now, but we wanted the survival mechanics put in. We talked about dynamic weather. I would like to say that because of our voice, dynamic weather really was pushed, that we needed this in the environment ASAP when I landed on Microtech. And it just started snowing like that the first time. Like, I was just beside myself. The graphics just amazing, and it was quite the experience. I actually created a series of videos called Create Star Citizen Experience, or Experience Star Citizen, where when they put new things in the game, especially like planets and places you could explore, I would go down there, we would check things out and just get the vibe, the feel, see what the art did, see how the art developers did, you know, and talk about it. So we were very, I think, instrumental in the early days with theory crafting. And I know at that particular point in time, Cloud Imperium was paying a lot of attention to us and our voice. And I would say, like, we're responsible for a lot of the cool features in the game, you know, because we were very vocal at the time on things that we wanted. So theory crafting is cool here,
similar to
bro.
when, I think it was 317, Christopher Volti magically brought loads more performance to the PU.
There was a period of time where people were very upset, Wazzy, because they were like, oh, we don't want this to be a survival game. And it was kind of up in the air, Wazzy. You know, they had put it on their roadmap. So I won't say that, like, we inspired it in terms of like the idea of it, but we pushed for it when things got hectic. You know what I mean, Wazzy? Because there were a lot of people that were like, oh, we don't need to eat in the game. We don't need to drink in the game. And we were like, our particular community was like, yeah, we do. You know, yeah, we do. Absolutely. I want some realism, you know.
We had the Gen 12 renderer, but actually...
Because you need a reason for farming, right? You need a reason for farming. The food that you're farming has to have a use, and that food feeds gamers, the pilots. So, like, the mechanics weren't just for survival mechanics' sake, for survival mechanics. It was also economics. It was also for the economy. It was also for the farmers and the traders, and to give it meaning. Because I believe every commodity in the game should have a purpose. It gives more purpose to people who are trading the items, who have a cargo hold that's filled with something that's important, that is needed, that there's actual real demand for it. And we talked about that till we were blue in the face, Wazzy, because there was a large proponent of people out there that were like, you know, no, we don't want this in the game. We were like, no, we need this in the game. You know, so I would like to give credit to the community for being so vocal with it. A lot of issues.
I think so.
A lot of issues along the way that we were very vocal
about. Saying that it wasn't really the things that they did with the Gen 12 render that brought all the performance. I think Christopher Boldy did some stuff with maybe the streaming bubbles or something. It just improved performance a lot.
What's up for science? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man.
We're looking for engine performance improvements, and really, we haven't heard much about anything. There's no big initiatives going on. The monthly reports haven't really hinted at anything going on, but I think the hope is that Squadron 42 brings more performance, because they'll have to optimize the main thread to get it being able to process all the data and all the calculations that the CPU needs to do faster and faster. So that's the main thread. And the render thread, I guess we're hoping that Vulkan is the magic bullet that some people are hoping for. I'm not convinced. I think in a lot of games, Vulkan
I think it will have an effect.
Bring...
I think it will have an effect. In a game like this, yes, I think there will be some effect. I don't know if it'll be like negligible, but I would say that there's going to be at least some effect. I think it will be positive. I think not to be dismissive of Vulkan.
Huge amounts of performance on top of
it's not going to be a ton DX11. Possibly, but it will help. Every little bit helps.
I don't think it's going to suddenly fix everybody's CPU problems. So we'll see. There you go. The first and maybe the last in the world performance react video. Let me know in the comments. Are you concerned about these performance numbers? Do you think it's not really anything to worry about? Did you even get into this mission? I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good time. We watched a lot of content of people boarding the Idris. It was, I think we were the first to break it here on the channel, which was nice, watching a streamer post some really amazing content that was fun. Go to the channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, press the like and subscribe. Join Discord. Join the fam. These are amazing people here. Have a good time with us live. Can't wait to see you here. Get your butts here if you're on YouTube.